Now, 50 years ago, Black civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his "I Have a Dream" speech in Washington. Historians say it changed the future for African Americans. And on Monday, hundreds of ministers and practitioners of many religions commemorated that speech with a march for justice in the U.S. Capitol. As VOA's Carolyn Presutti reports, this year's march carried a stark message in light of recent violent events.
Time is winding up, so much corruption in this land.
They say that God hears prayers, and the march was a prayer for justice, not on their knees, but on foot, asking for an end to racism, anti-Semitism, and discrimination.
It's not a black issue only. It's also an issue for Jews. It's an issue for everybody because all of us have some piece of who we are that's targeted by these groups.
By these groups, Lynch is referring to a deadly incident 2 weeks ago in Charlottesville, Virginia. A group of white supremacists and other extremists held a two-day rally with explicit hateful speech. One white supremacist demonstrator rammed a car into a crowd of counter-protesters, killing one woman and injuring 19 others. Since then, many say the country has taken a step back in time and is now dangerously divided.
And we have to call it what it is. White supremacy has got to go.
Reverend Joanne Hilton wrote her doctoral thesis on the importance of social justice in worship services. She says it's up to religious leaders to teach it and preach it.
As people have gone to sleep, they think that we're in a post-racial society, and we're not. It's just that it has been hidden or it went underground. But now with this new president, they've come back up ground.
And he's trying to eradicate it. Don't know really what his agenda is, but his agenda that doesn't promote justice.
But along the way, an unplanned stop, a silent prayer at the Trump International Hotel. Many walked this route before, during the civil rights era in the 1960s. Now, with the next generation.
When we see injustices going on in this nation, that we have to stand up and have our voices heard.
The march ended at the U.S. Department of Justice. No immediate comment from the Trump administration, but shortly after the violence in Charlottesville, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said he shares the views of the president.
Racism, white supremacy is totally unacceptable.
That may not be enough for this crowd. Carolyn Presutti, VOA News, Washington.